One of the biggest things that we run into, and this kind of just flowing, so I hope you're okay with this.
Sure, yeah, please.
One of the biggest things you run into, whether you're a health agent, a life agent, or a fixed index annuity agent, is getting in front of people. And a lot of people don't like to use the phone. So my wife's been very, very effective at the phone. I've been effective at the phone. But at some point, even I'm like, I'm done with the phone. You just get beat up on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have some rough days. And so...
I don't think anyone wants to pound the phones forever.
Well, I don't think so either. But what I will tell you is that if you're writing down your goals and you're not hitting your goals and you're spending Facebook leads, which are fine, and you're buying mailers and you're door knocking and you're still not hitting your goals, going back to that phone is kind of tried and true. And it keeps you in check that you always can go back to the basics to go back to hit your goals. Because at the end of the day, if you have a goal and you know, my team, we have goals, but like I have personal goals as well. And if I don't hit my personal goal, sometimes no one knows it but me, right?
Yes.
And so I can stand in front of the mirror and I can say, you know what? I didn't hit my goal, but I did everything I wanted. You know, I did everything I could to hit that goal. But if it's just you and the person in the mirror, and you didn't pick up the phone and try to call nobody, you didn't cold call this week, you didn't really do everything you could have did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, put an hour, put 2 hours into it, and it's not fun. Space it out, you know? But then the other part is if you get into a phone, between 9 and 11 is goal time, prime time, right? You get on there, your phone, you blow it up. But the other part of this is that what can you do outside of spending money? Like a lot of people, like, do you want me to go down this path?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
A lot of people will come to me and they're like, man, I want leads. I want to do this. Where are you coming from? And I have 100 different lead sources, right?
Right.
I think Facebook is very effective if you're doing it right. I think that the ad campaigns and mailers are good, but what can you be doing with your time? When you're early in this career, because I'm going to focus on agents, right? When you're early in this career, you're overworked and underpaid.
Yes.
And that's just the way it is. But this is the only career that I know people that have made $0 and then within a year or 2 years making 6 figures. There's not many other industries that can do that. And so what can you do with your time now because you have less money and more time? What can you do to get out there, right?
Correct.
And so big things that a lot of people, they get intimidated about, but I'm encouraging you guys to do this stuff is every town has local HR departments, right? Every town has factories. Every town has you know, mom and pop's offices or the Council on Aging, which is, we have a Council on Aging in Michigan. I don't know what you guys have here in Missouri. It's where folks over 65 go to just get guidance, right? And they're not agents. You got anything like that around here?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think it's something to do with aging.
Yeah.
I should know, but I think aging is in it. I think aging is in it,
right?
In the title.
I didn't mean to throw you on the spot there, but
my dad would know.
Yeah,
for sure.
If you're able to get in with these, and it doesn't happen right away, right? So
this is smart.
Yeah, it doesn't happen right away, but if you can go in there, I started working with the Lake City one. And then the Lake City one, I was bringing them donuts. And then I started working with the Cadillac one where I live, the Wexford County one. And I was getting donuts and I was trying to build a little bit of value. Now, it honestly took me about a year until I got my first Medicare supplement referral. Wow. But when I got that first Medicare supplement referral, we called the Council on Aging together to tell them how happy they were. So because I wanted to capitalize on, like, not only did you refer someone, I took care of them, they're happy, and they're happy enough that we can call and say, hey, thank you for sending Ryan out to see me.
Wow. Because
what happens is now you're starting to build value with them. They can trust you because there are a lot of fly-by-night agents out there.
Yeah. And how did that come into your head? To call them with the client, to let them know, hey, they're very happy, they're taken care of. That's super unique and creative.
Yeah, so I think that a big thing is I don't like things being outside of my realm of control. I try to take responsibility for everything. I told you in 2020, we had a year where I actually went back. 2019 was my banner year. 2020, I stepped backwards. And I didn't mean to do it, but I did it, and we're going to run with it. And I think that because I understand what I didn't do in 2020, we're going to blow up 2021. And so be in control of your environment, right? Most agents will get to a house and they're like, I'm in the house. And then they will maybe not go all the way on a sale. Maybe they'll not ask for referrals. Maybe they'll not do this, or maybe they'll not do one more close. You're there. Like you did half the work already.
You said just lazy?
Lazy, scared to ask for more. You know what I mean?
Because you think you're going to lose what you already got?
Yeah, you think you're going to lose what you got. There's a couple different things, but like on my end, I just want to make sure that I'm continuing to build value on every single level. We talk about this a lot. I say this, I'm going to brand this, man. Value is the new close. Like close is an old school word. Yes. And so I continue to bring value 24/7, 365.
Dylan, look for that domain. So grab it before Ryan.
Right. Yeah, we're going to get it. So, but but if we can build value with the client, we live in a time right now that information is relatively available anywhere you go. And even if your clients that are in the senior market aren't getting it, their kids or grandkids are getting it.
Yes.
And so the best thing that we can do is obviously build yourself a brand on social media. You know, you're teaching me on YouTube, even as, you know, we even taught YouTube today.
Yeah.
I'm slacking in that area. So
I love YouTube. I love YouTube subscribers. That's what I really love.
Well, we're building ours up, and so build a presence, become known. Because
yes.
if
how valuable is that?
Oh, it's intangible, right? Yeah. It's having a presence in the community.
Because you've got a big presence in your local community.
Yeah,
you're about to have a big presence in the insurance industry.
Yeah,
you're someone that looks to bring value to others, knowing that eventually maybe you'll get it in return. But that's not. But you do it not even caring if it comes back. It's just your personality.
Yeah, and I think that becomes with habit. You know what I mean? That's why kind of. And I'll circle back to this, but jumping back to, it took me a year to get the Council on Aging to give me one person.
Wow. Most would have quit and failed, and stopped.
Yeah. And so it's in my control to alter, now I wouldn't say alter, to develop a relationship with that client so they feel comfortable, so they feel open with me, so they feel that I'm protecting them and I'm working in their best interest. But then it doesn't stop from there. You can ask, do you know anyone else? Do you know anyone you can refer me to? Or then to go above and beyond. See, because what separates average agents from phenomenal agents, right? Going above and beyond. It's in my control because I'm in that home to say, hey, do you mind? And you might do this, guys. You might make the sale, follow up with them after the sale, schedule a policy delivery, answer any additional questions they might have, and then during that policy delivery, say, hey, can we call the Council on Aging? Just let them know that you had a good experience with me. It's in your control. Like, what do you get nothing. Like, what are the chances that the Council on Aging is going to follow up with that client? They're busy. Very, very slim. Unless they were uneasy about it, right?
Right.
What's the chances that the client is going to run to the Council on Aging and say, Ryan did a great job? They might. It might come up, but it might not. And I'm not okay with allowing that opportunity.
But that makes sure that it comes up, and it's not coming up just from you. It's coming up from them.
From the client. Yeah,
it's a different
client as well.
way of looking
and
at
so on every level, like, we talk a lot about bringing value, and I mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's impactful. Like, Cody is a great person in the industry, right? You're doing big things. You're someone that I look up to, and I'm excited. He's taking that from me now. See, that I said that earlier. I'm just joking with you. But you're someone I'm excited to build a relationship with, right?
Yeah.
And I said it was great, but if we weren't bringing each other value, right?
Yes.
If I was just delivering you value and you weren't delivering me any,
correct,
then I would move on. And and you would remember, Ryan brought me value. Yes. Ryan brought this to me. Ryan brought me the funny story about his nickname in high school, right? You would remember that, right? And then I would move on. And if you ran into someone like in the insurance industry, you'd be like, oh, you know Ryan Ciccheli? And you'd be like, yeah, I do know him. He's a pretty funny guy. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But if you cultivate a relationship building back to me, we create value back and forth in exchange, then it's not, are we going to build together? It's, how can we make $1 million together? How can we make $2 million together? Because every relationship that you guys have out there, it's not if we can, it's how we can, right? And so every single time we make these connections, that's what you have to be looking for, is connections, whether it's with clients, whether it's people, whether it's with the HR departments or the Council on Aging, like, get in front of them and build value. Another thing that I'll do is, I did this, I'm going to tell you a secret, but don't be telling a bunch of people I told you this, in my community anyways. What I would do is, when I was first getting started, I didn't have a lot of money. And so I would go to the HR departments and I would bring donuts and I would say, hey, my name's Ryan Ciccheli. I work in health insurance and life insurance and annuities. When you have someone retire or questions, feel free to get a hold of me. And I would send my wife in and pretend she's my assistant and just reiterate some of the message. And she was my wife, just going in there. I didn't have the money to pay for an assistant, right? But she would go and just say, hey, my name's April and I work with Ryan and he's doing these things. Well, now we're building, right? So now I'll have a life insurance stop in, life insurance agent stop in, a health insurance agent stop in, my assistant stop in, a compliance officer stop in. Hey, we've built so much for the community and for our clients. We can offer all of this stuff to you now, right? And so you go from 4 years ago just being this Ryan guy that I didn't have no money, right? No money. We couldn't pay for Facebook advertising if we wanted to. Yeah. I remember we paid for a radio ad one time, and I waited around in that car for 2 days to hear my own. I was the only person that heard it. I was just sitting there every day. We'd turn on, and it was like a channel we didn't even listen to. And I would just sit there in the car, just like waiting for this thing to play. Just so proud, thinking it was going to make me $1 million, right? Nothing. You
heard it though, right?
I personally, I don't think anyone else heard it, but I heard it, yeah.
Did you get any calls?
No call. Actually, my wife listened to the same channel because, you know, it was our money we were putting. She wasn't my wife at the time. And she calls me, guess what? I said, what? She goes, I heard our ad. I was like, oh, that's so great. We're super excited. Nothing, guys.
It brought value to you.
It made you feel good, and that's great. And
it's so funny because Dallas and I used to have the bald buddy of mine that you met earlier.
Yeah.
We used to have a fantasy football radio show, and we would literally be driving in the car and then like start recording on our phone if our commercial played.
Yeah.
You know? So
and I hope you guys all go through that moment. Just know that radio is probably not the best use of your money right off the rip, right?
But there's a lot of guys in your space that do radio shows.
Well, and so what's happening now is I say, you guys have to be really careful, and I don't want to go too crazy deep into this, but you have to be really careful of where you are in your career versus like with what works for you in advertising.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you now that I'm running television commercials.
Yes.
That I've done radio spots, that I have billboards. You can leave my town any which way and you'll see my pretty face on a billboard.
But if you're brand new, you shouldn't be doing any of those things.
You should not.
Correct.
No. And that's what I'm saying now is that I'm doing that because what I want now is brand awareness.
Yes.
I want when I call and I'm saying, I'm Ryan Ciccheli with Generations Insurance and Financial Services, you're like, I've heard that name somewhere, right? And we're building other businesses as well. So we're doing well on the business side, but I want, to me now it's about becoming known and not only becoming known because known, like, I don't care if everyone knows who I am. I want to be known for credibility reasons, right? I want to be known like...
Not like, oh, I'm a celebrity, I'm famous. It's known as in like, okay, wow. You know, I recognize this person.
Right. This person, like, and then, you know...
Or you should talk to this person because of this.
Yeah. And those are the big things. I had an experience with Ryan. I didn't do anything with him, but he brought me this much value, and so I would recommend him, you know. And then what happens is they drive by that billboard and they see it, and it's all just brand awareness. But if you're early in your career, right, you need some sweat equity. You need to get out there, boots on the ground, go talk to your local HR departments, say hi. Facebook ads are good. They're inexpensive. Make sure that you understand them.
Door knocking.
Door knocking's phenomenal.
Warm market.
Yeah. Door knocking is phenomenal. So there's tons of resources. But what happens is I went to an event. I won't even drop the name of the event. It wasn't Cody's event. I missed that one. I feel guilty about it.
Never again.
Never again. No, I won't. Never again. But I went to an event and I had an agent tell me, they're like, man, I buy these leads every month. And last month was a slow month. My numbers are way down. I'm like, so what else are you doing? He's like, nothing. We just wait for the mail to come to get these leads, these emails. I'm like, man, like, that does not work like that.
Nothing. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you next. What would you say to a struggling agent that's considering quitting, that they may end up a part of 92%?
You know the whole thing I was telling you about that one guy named Hunter whose dad, my mom told him he's a shy guy. One of the people I was working with is a restaurant owner. They sell